Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of the executive. Excuse me. Thank you. Right, apologies for absence, Angela. Okay. Can I sign the published record of the meeting on the 26th of January, sorry. Is that as a true record? Thank you. Remind members of disclosures of interest. We haven't any business not covered by the, sorry.
So item 9, I've got disclosure of interest in item 9, pecuniary interest. I've declared it with Angel.
You're declaring an interest? Okay. Thank you very much. We have some items not covered by the covered forward plan and general exception, and that's under children's and services, and it's the admission arrangements. Over to yourself, Javeria.
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening, colleagues. This is just a normal report, nothing key to note here, other than basically the executive is recommended, as per always, every year to approve the admissions arrangements. And this year is for the 2027 to 28 period for community schools as set out in Appendix A. There isn't anything noteworthy, but obviously if colleagues have any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Okay, any questions? Everyone happy to agree? Thank you very much.
Chair, if I could perhaps use this opportunity to just make one other observation, if I may. I just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate the 23 Luton schools. They've been recognised nationally for achieving excellent outcomes for disadvantaged children at Key Stage 2 or GCSE. Each school's performance places amongst the very best nationally, and they were praised by the Secretary of State for Education, and they all received a letter individually by the Secretary of State. This recognition highlights the exceptional work happening across Luton schools. The excellent achievement of disadvantaged pupils across the town stands an example of what can be achieved through dedication, high expectations, and a deep commitment to our young people. I am incredibly proud of our schools, their staff, and the difference they make each and every day. And well done to also the Luton Council's Education Department for working closely with the schools. And we are working, coordinating with these schools to ensure that they support all the other schools and trusts in Luton to help more children achieve their best.
Yes, thank you, Javeria. That is a really, really important statement. Any comments from anybody? Okay, so can we minute something along those lines, Angela? Thank you very much. Then we move on to item 4, business not covered. We haven't any under that section. No references from committees, no recommendations from scrutiny reviews, no petitions. So we move straight on to the main business this evening, and item 8, the revenue budget and capital programme. Over to yourself, Rob.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I would like to provide a brief update on the development of the Council's budget for 26-27 and outline the next stage in the process. The draft budget for 26-27 was presented to the Executive on the 12th of January and subsequently released for engagement and early scrutiny. These stages have now been completed, and the outcomes from both engagement and scrutiny have been reflected in the way the budget has been constructed, including the protections incorporated for those most in need. The draft budget is now presented back to the Executive for agreement of the final version to be recommended for approval. The final stage in the governance process will be the meeting of the full Council on the 23rd of February 2026, where members will be asked to approve the budget for 26-27, along with the associated council tax resolutions. In summary, Chair, the budget for 26-27 has progressed through its planned pre-decision engagement and scrutiny stages and will be forwarded to full Council on the 23rd of February 26 for approval. As the budget will be discussed at full Council, it would not be appropriate to take questions at this point. On this basis, Chair, I propose a recommendation set out in the report on pages 39 and 40. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're not taking any questions on this at all, Chair, okay? So it's before members to agree to send it to full Council. That agreed? Thank you. We now move on to item 9, which is the scale of fees and charges. And okay.
The Council reviews its fees and charges annually for the service it provides. This ensures charges are set, wherever possible, to fully recover the cost of service provision so that council taxpayers do not unduly subsidise services used by individual or small groups. Costs continue to rise. Inflation stood at 3.2% at the time of writing the report and increased to 3.4% in December. In addition, the council tax has assumed a 3% staff pay award for 26-27. The proposed changes to fees and charges are expected to generate an additional 439,000 in revenue. A full breakdown of this figure is provided in Appendix A. Of this total, 138,000 relates to the introduction of new charges for corporate apprenticeships, under which the council manages an individual financial affairs such as benefits and state pension, because they have nobody else able to support them. An integrated impact assessment form for these new charges is included in Appendix 5. The recommendations are in front of the Executive Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Bassett.
Thank you, Rob. The only question I had was on the music service. I understand we need to raise fees and charges to stay in line with inflation, but this is more for the officers really rather than just Rob. But music continues, people from deprived and disadvantaged groups continue to be underrepresented. And I think I've raised those concerns before in the music service. And what steps are we taking to ensure that those rise in fees and charges don't impact adversely on those from underrepresented groups who are keen to kind of engage in music and arts?
Well, as I understand, the cost increase is based on the cost of the council. So there's no profit from these areas, Dev, I'm guessing? No, there's no. So it's based on what it costs the council to give these that service to the music service. Okay.
Okay. Kaviri, did I see your hand up? No, sorry. So, anybody else? No? Are we happy to agree? Thank you. Can we get back? Oh, he's come in. Okay. Right, move on to item 10, which is the housing benefit and council tax reduction risk-based variation.
Thank you, Chair. The risk-based verification is a method of applying different checks to new claims for housing benefit and council tax reduction according to the risk associated with these claims. The aim is to reduce the burden on customers to provide excessive evidence and enable low-risk claims to be assessed and put into payment more quickly. Efforts can then be concentrated on those claims with a high-risk category where there is an increased chance of fraud and error. The risk-based verification module was originally introduced by Luton in October 2014. Once the customer applies for help online, they receive immediate confirmation of the verification required to complete their claim. It is important that the overarching policy is applied as future subsidy audits will be based on this. Each new claim received is allocated a risk score in real time of low, medium or high. The evidence requirements will differ based on the risk score, assigned with high-risk claims requiring greater evidence to support these claims. An updated risk-based verification policy was approved in January 2025. This policy must be reviewed each year and cannot be amended in year, as this would complicate the subsidy audit process. The policy for Luton Council has now been reviewed for 26-27 with no changes. The Executive is asked to improve the continued use of the risk-based verification policy for 26-27. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Rob. Are there any questions? Happy to agree? Thank you. Move on to item 11, which is the Treasury Management Strategy.
The Council must approve Treasury management and investment strategies each year alongside the prudential indicators that ensure financial operations remain within set limits. These strategies are essential for maintaining the Council's financial stability. A capital investment programme of £325.1 million is planned over the next 3 years to support infrastructure and projects linked to the Luton 2040 vision. As a result, borrowing will rise in 26-27, with gross debt expected to reach £87.5 million against capital financing requirement of £1.164 billion. The Council continues to use internal cash to keep borrowing costs low, creating an under-borrowed position of around £290.5 million. Debt servicing costs are already built into the revenue budget. Interest earned on loans to subsidiary companies such as London Luton Airport Limited and Vauxhall Homes Limited will help offset borrowing costs. With bank rate reduced to 3.75% and long-term gilt yields still high, The council may use short-term borrowing from other authorities or lenders to minimise interest costs until the market stabilise. The executive is asked to approve the 26-27 Treasury Management Strategy and recommend it to full council for final approval on 23rd of February 2026. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions on the report? Happy to agree. Thank you very much. We now move on to item 13. Oh, sorry, item 12. I apologise. Yeah, 13. 12, HRA, yeah?
The purpose of this report is to provide the final HRA budget for 26-27. Government policy is to increase rent levels by CPI plus 1% from 1st of April 2026 for 10 years. CPI in September 2025 is 3.8%. Therefore, the proposed rent increase is 4.8%. This will apply to social and affordable rent. Affordable rent increases will be capped at the lower of the LHA, the local housing allowance, or 80% market rent. The government conducted a consultation on rent convergence in July 2025. Rent convergence is a mechanism where social rents are increased each year over and above the rent standard CPI plus 1% until they match the formula rent. Having reviewed submissions to the consultation, government has now published its response, confirming that providers will be able to increase weekly rents for their social rent properties that are below formula by up to an additional £1 on weekly rents each year over and above the CPI plus 1% from April 2027, and by up to an additional £2 on weekly rent each year over and above CPI plus 1% from April 2028 until formula rent is reached. This means that the rent convergence will have no effect and not be in place during the 26-27 budget. The council currently owns and manages 7,524 homes. This includes a mixture of houses and flats, and the recommendations are in front of the executive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Happy to approve? Thank you. Now we'll move on to item 13, the performance report, Rob.
Thank you. The 17 measures are listed as high performance, which meant they have met or exceeded their respective targets for 3 consecutive quarters or years if annual. And 4 measures are listed as needs improvement, meaning they have fallen short of their targets for 3 consecutive quarters or years if annual. The highlights are attainment, Key Stage 4 Maths and English, Level 5+. The proportion of pupils gaining strong passes in both Maths and English is significantly higher than in 2019 and 2023, with Luton pupils performing above the 2023 national in 2024. 45.6% of students achieved a strong pass in both Maths and English. Strong passes in both Maths and English provide students with access to A levels as well as a wide range of career opportunities. IT customer satisfaction, Net Promoter Score since launching in September, the service exceeded the target every month. Really strong results from Q2 considering the Windows 11 rollout, and the service had deployed another circa 350 laptops as part of the refresh project. A percentage of children achieving expected levels at Key Stage 2 reading and writing Maths. These results reflect the continual success of Luton's primary schools, having improved their results from being stubbornly below national averages for the previous decades to above national in 2022 and maintaining a national average in 23 and 24. GCSE results, attainment 8, Luton average 8 score is increasing and is now 45.0 in line with the national average. No new adults aged 18 to 64 whose long-term support needs are met by admission to residence and nursing care homes. There have been 4 further long-term residential or nursing care admissions this quarter, which is exceeding the expected target. This measure is on target to overachieve the current trend that continues. The recommendation.
Thank you, Rob. Are there any questions? No? Happy to agree the report? Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of the executive this evening. Thank you very much.